everybody. How can you hear me? Okay. Thank you all for coming today for this symposium. Really appreciate your presence here. And we're going to start in some minutes from now. Some minutes from now we begin. So, okay. Some minutes from now we begin. So we just want you to be patient with us. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Are we happy to be here? Okay, I want to especially welcome every one of you here and thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us here today. We want to especially thank Mr. Obebo Enotie. He's the owner of this studio. Please a round of applause for him. This is a program put together by Nosona Studios, that's the name of this place, Nosona Art Studios, in conjunction with Savvy Contemporary for putting this program together. Please a round of applause. So the thing is, for the image to find its form in us on reinstitution, rehabilitation, and reparation, what we are here for basically is to talk about decolonization. We all know about decolonization. Nigeria was colonized by the Europeans, and how it has affected art and culture. That's basically why we are here as youth. To talk about both the positive effects, the negative effects. We know it's not really a good story altogether, but we cannot deny the fact that it also has some positive effects on our society today. So that's why we are here. My name is Ubiagbe from Paradise, and I am an executive of Envoy Nation. So I'm just going to be talking a little, just an introduction of what Envoy Nation is about. Envoy Nation can be best described as a non-governmental organization where a group of young people, teenagers and youth, who just want to make a difference in our societies today. We organize different programs to inspire and to encourage young children, adults, and teenagers. So we are going to be having a panel. We are going to be having a panel of youth and also an organized panel of 5 people, which I'm going to be mentioning their names now. Bimpe Awoyemi, please a round of applause. We have Kelly Omadame. Please a round of applause, please appreciate them. We have Osaru Obaseki. We have Princess Omoyeme. And we have Adekule Akolabi. So we're going to be starting now, but the youth panel is a much bigger panel comprising of more people than this, which is going to be introduced to us later on. Please just sit tight and respect the best. Thank you very much. Once again, thank you for coming here.
Good afternoon, everybody. Please around. Okay, I'd like to know if all the panelists are on ground. Okay. I'd like to know if we have all panelists on ground. We have Bimpe Awayemi. Please, if you're in the building, can you give us a wave? Oh, okay. Please, a round of applause for them. We have Kelly Odane. If you're ready, you can give us away. Okay, yes, we're still expecting you. We have Osara Baseki. A round of applause for her, please. Thank you. Princess Omoyele. Please, a round of applause for her. My kids will come to the podium. Thank you. We have Adekule Afolabi. Is he around? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Thank you very much. So now we make you welcome of, we make you welcome of the director of the Global Arts Center, Mr. Egatil November. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'd like to welcome you, especially today, to this event. This event, we started the first restitution lab on the 20th of January with the collaboration between Sabi Contemporary and the Federal Cultural Foundation of Germany. And the restitution lab is a concept where we are discussing and sharing information about the events of 1897, particularly in Benin, when the British invaded Benin and looted a lot of artifacts and massacred a lot of people, imposed a colonial administration which lasted for some decades before we got independence as the country. As an independent country, which we know today as Nigeria. As you all know, before the formation of Nigeria, before the amalgamation of Nigeria in 1914, Nigeria, this area was made up of different kingdoms. You had the Benin Kingdom, you had the Shekri Kingdom, you had the Ijo Kingdom, and you had kingdoms, all over place. And now, with the effect of colonialism and imperialism, it was all welded into an entity. And the foreign forms and cultures were imposed on this entity. And that is why we are all communicating today in English. So today, we are focusing particularly on the youth. I'm glad to see all of you here, so please give yourself a round of applause. The focus of today is to examine the effects of the events of 1897 when the British invaded Benin and the consequent colonial administration that was imposed. We're going to examine the effects of this colonialism to this day, how it affects our contemporary life. How does it affect our tradition, our culture, our thinking? And as you are aware, there's been a huge effort to bring back these bronzes and artifacts. There's a huge effort to build a museum, a befitting museum. And in this endeavor, when these artifacts are brought back, and in the course of this debate, we're going to examine, amongst all of us, what effects are we expected? What benefits are we expected to reap from this restitution? And what kind of knowledge are we expected to get when these artifacts are returned? When this museum is built? When all these events come together and we discover our history, our culture, what effects do we expect to get? A lot of times we play the victim, we talk about, oh, we invaded, we did this, we did that. Today we want to also look at what do we intend to make of these events going forward? How can we empower ourselves going forward with the knowledge, with the culture, with the traditions, and create a better society where we can integrate ourselves into the global village, as it were. So today we have some of our speakers here who will share their thoughts with us. And then we have another panel that will take over, made up of the youths who will also come to share their perspectives with us. Ariel, can we invite some of the youth panelists to just come down and join? It's meant to be a seamless interaction. I just want to say that we should all relax. This is going to be very participatory. We're going to be having discussions and sharing knowledge. Nobody has a monopoly of knowledge, so we'll all share our perspectives, but we expect it to be free-flowing. I would like to start by introducing Kelly Modale. Kelly Modale is a fifth generation. He comes from a family of broadcasters, so the fifth generation broadcaster himself. He's an amazing artist, he's very talented, and he's also knowledgeable about art of broadcasting, the effects it has on the industry, and moving forward, how we can take advantage of the present situation to improve on the practice of art and how it affects society. The second person I would like to introduce is Osaro Basegi. Osaro Basegi is an Nigerian artist. She's multidisciplinary. She paints and she sculpts. Who knows? I don't see the one. But Osaro has just been nominated and chosen to embark on a curatorial course with the British Museum, and she should be going next month for some time. So she has done a lot of research on colonialism, the effects, restitution, so she will share her perspective also with us. And then I would like to introduce a cultural practitioner and educationist who is very active in the youth space. She has a program where she teaches young children how to play chess, right? Chess club. She has a cultural foundation, an NGO, where they carry out a lot of culture-based activities which focus on the advantages of the power of culture. So Mrs. Ripunle Omoye is here, and she will share her perspective also for the rest of the country. And usually other panelists is going to. So Ariel, I'll hand over to you. Ariel is one of the coordinators of the Envoy Nation. It's a young foundation that seeks to help young people to come to terms with the exigencies of our society, to empower them with knowledge, so that going forward we can become very useful citizens of our country and of the world. Very good.
Thank you, sir. Put a round of applause for me. Okay, so before the other panelists came on stage, giving an introduction, so I'd like to introduce Mark Brown, a 500 level civil engineering student of the University of Benin. But currently, he's not a professional artist, like 90% of the ones in the room, but he's a youth, and I believe living is the arts. So I can say he's an expert in the art of thinking. A round of applause. Thank you so much for joining us. I'd also like to welcome Emmanuel Charity, director in Envoy Nation, a student of the University of Benin, a philanthropist. Thank you, Mark. So moving on, and others. So moving on, I'd like to start from Ms. Osaro Obaseki. I just want to know basically what you have to tell us from the theme of the event, what it encapsulates, your thoughts, nuggets, all out. Jonathan. I thought the topic entails basically these are youths who are all seated, some of us are artists, some of us are not, already have an idea of what it is. So I'll just like to know the first thing that comes to your mind, and anything you can say to us that'll add value to us right now, just for start. Thank you, ma'am.
Hello, everyone. The topic for today is on preparation and preparation.
done by the Benin proffered. And I know that as time passes by or as we move on, other institutions will be able to also key into this course and also return things out for them. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, yes, I was going to direct this to you, Mr. Pepe or Amy, right? Oh, apologies. Okay, anyway, thank you, ma'am. So I have a question. For the phonics to find its formulas, that's a phrase, but it's like an action phrase. Do you think us, like as a generation, do you think we're resisting it? Do you think we're resisting the development? This generation, rather.
First of all, I have to break it down into several pieces. What is the feelings? What is the feelings in this case? If you don't understand something, how can you even accept or resist? Now, from what I understand about this discourse, we are looking at how we can use the lessons, how we can use the lessons, how we can use the issue of restitution to make us better people in the global society. Now I will cast on the colonialism, and I will then define my own view of the Phoenix. The Phoenix on its own is a mystical bird that borns itself on the failure path every 500 years thereabout and is reborn. Now, the Phoenix, in my own definition, in regard to this discourse, is decolonizing our minds. Because looking at the invasion, how it has affected us, looking at the colonialism, which is characterized by export of young Africans, old Africans, strong Africans, the best kind, out of our shores, the traffic out during the period of colonialism, and looking at it now when we claim we have independence, it still shows that we are still colonized somewhere. That traffic is still high, but we no longer see the physical presence of our slave masters. But that traffic is still there. Now, the issue of the invasion is a side of the story. For us to accept the feelings, for us to decolonize our mind, which will then make each of us useful in the global space, we need to first of all understand what the invasion was about. We need to first of all understand why our artifacts were carted away. We need to first of all understand ourselves as a people. We need to first of all understand the pride our forefathers had when we had these artifacts. Then, looking at the effects of colonization, it has affected our minds, where you see an average youth. The first thing it tells you, the first chance I have, I'm going to get out of this shop. You join the bandwagon of people going out. You see medical doctors, you see engineers, respected in their own sphere. They will move their children, move everybody away. It's no longer a forced migration. It's a willing migration, which, if the invasion had not taken place, if our artifacts had not been removed, we could still have been tied to our values. Where young people still go to farms, where young people still delight in hard work, where young people still find value in themselves, where they still have the self-esteem to be their self in their own space. If our artifacts were not carted away, if that disconnect was not there in the first place, we would have seen a place where we would have a proper perception of ourselves. Even if we have to leave our shore, we will not still go out and be second class or second rated citizens outside. Now, we need to understand that we were not barbarians before the invasion. We need to understand that the invasion, the colonialism of Africa, was brought about by people who coveted our natural resources. It was brought about by people who knew the value, the cost of what we had. And we need to understand that these bronze artifacts, because they were just more than bronze. Now we've been told a side of the story, and what we think about is the bronze. It is more than the bronze. We should also understand that these artifacts were carted away not only from the palace, they were carted away from our ancestral homes. They were carted away from Benin, from everywhere. Now, for us to accept the feelings, for us to understand who we are, for us to make better people in the society, we need to first of all understand that we are Africans, we are Edo people, we are people of pride, we are people of value. And we need to understand that whatever we have, we are good the way we are. And we need to understand that our artifacts, even though carted away, are still part of us. They still form who we are. And we are good the way we are in our own space. On the issue of restitution, we know restitution is returning what has been taken to its original owner. Now, if you look at religious circles, they'll tell you if you take someone's something, you return it, not just a day, return it in about 7 folds. Now you're returning our artifacts. You choose what to return. You choose when to return. You choose when to return. Who puts the price on these artifacts? They belong to us. We know the value. We feel the impact. The impact of the invasion is so. The invasion itself is a thing that should give us pride. Because if you go into history, you will find out that Benin was about the last stronghold for the British to conquer. So it was a conquest for them. And no matter the side of the story that was told, or that is being told, we cannot fail to recognize the valor of our fighter chiefs of General Oche. You see their sculptures, their figurines everywhere. That tells you that we are strong people. The issue of the invasion should give us a sense of pride, that because we had something of value, and it is still of so much value that it pains them to return. Now, instead of us to look at it as something that brings down our self-esteem, something that makes us feel lower than who we are, we need to be like the phoenix. We need to step on the funeral pyre. We need to burn those old ideas. We need to forgive. We need to let go. We need to look at things from a new perspective, from the perspective of today. So when we are reborn, like the phoenix, we were born with new ideas, value. We were born as people who know who they are and who recognizes the importance of their space, recognizes their value to their space, and know that you have more value in your space.
Thank you very much. Claps for one, please. Okay, so when you said a lot of facts, everything you said were facts, and I hope we're following. Please. Thank you. From all you said, I picked a notion, and if I'm correct, I'll say that colonization as an experience, the colonization of experience, it created in this part of the world. And to date, lots of things are still going out of our zone. One, two, check. Okay, so I said, if I'm coming correct, I'm of the notion now, hearing all you just said, that the colonization as an experience, it created this loophole, and to date, it has not been clear. Because speaking of years back, things were taken out of our zone in form of an artifact, objects, valuable objects. But today, we still see something like a repetition of that happening, but no more in form of objects, but in form of humans, in form of talented young people, where we have access, but they cannot thrive here. So what do you think are the possible solutions? Because I've seen it happen a lot, and this is not just tied to background, financial background, it's like a norm. Somebody reaches the zenith of his or her expertise, and then, so how can we hold what's ours? Is there something supernatural about the colonization? If there is, what are the possible solutions? Thank you.
I'll try not to repeat myself. When you take away the language of the people, you take away their identity. She talked about identity. And when you take away the identity of the people, they are formless. They assume the form of whatever is more domineering. Now, the invasion was the beginning, because after they invaded, they didn't go away. They set up colonization, different administrations. Now, if they had just taken those things and left, we could have been covered with our own set of administration. Now they have set up their own system, and their own system ensured that we will robbed of our identity, which you now see in the erosion and falling of our language. You now see people priding themselves in Western culture. You now see people wanting to be like our colonial masters. Now, it is not, I will try not to say it's supernatural. I will try to say it's more psychological. And from generation to generation, it was not properly handled. You see a father training his child to the papers. He will be the one to bring the money to send the child out. Now, the solution is in your topic. It's the feelings. What is the feelings? Decolonizing your mind. Because if you said, if you give something to your system, which is your circle, your system becomes a unit better, and you become a step better. That is if your system accepts it. Now, I deal with young people, I deal with youth. It is not so bad that you would even want to impart knowledge. You will now start hearing what I call learning fee. You will say, if you invite some people to this program, they will ask you, how much will I get? Will you give me food? As in, what do I get? It is that bad. We have so debased our mind to the level of being servants, even in a free space. So, first of all, we need to be reborn. We need to be determined to give something useful to our society. We need to first of all ask ourselves, of what use am I to my society? If I leave, who will miss me? Of what use am I? And be determined to make your society a person better. If we all join the bandwagon of people living, who are we leaving this space for? And the annoying part of it is that for every one person that leaves, we are one strong mind less. And when you leave, you did not live with your cousin. You did not live with a child that your cousin's cousin has not even given birth to. So you live in your mind, I'm going to get a better space, a greener space. What space can be greener than Nigeria? While I said, someone once told me that only goats looks for greener pastures. And our elders will tell you the land is always greener on the other side. What makes the land green? It is its people. Our soil is good enough. Our space is good enough. And we are good enough. That you are here, it means that you have something to offer. So, the effect of the invasion is that our mind has also been invaded. Our spiritual space has also been invaded. Our every part has been invaded. It is worse by every generation. So, we ask for the solution. The solution is to decolonize your mind. The solution is to look at the strength of the invasion. And the solution is to be consoled in the fact that the people who did us this injustice have now owned up to the fact that indeed it was injustice. And let's not do ourselves, our space, more injustice by being colonized without any physical form of colonialism.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you. I hope I'm grasping something because I am. Kelly, this turn is directed to you. You're very familiar with the youth space, university space in quotes, and you see a lot of things that happen within the four walls of the classrooms and even outside. So, talking about colonialism, 90% of youth in the society, when they hear decolonization, the first thing that comes to their mind would be backwardness. And I'm sure lots of people would say, God forbid, right? So, I'd like to know, do you feel like the colonialism, the effect that's still relevant, has it done more harm than good in the youth space? In the youth space, has it done us more harm than good? If we should pass the mic, some development, things are easier, things are better. I doubt if anybody here would see any negative effect, but as a panelist, I just want to speak our minds. Do you think it has done us more harm than good? And I'd like you to highlight the harms, highlight the goodness. Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me to talk about this. My name is Kelly. First, talking about the harm and positive aspects of colonialism. Of course, in every there's good and there's bad today. But let's talk about the negative aspect of it, because I'm a youth, I've experienced conversations amongst my peers, and at some point I was feeling like I was going the wrong way, choosing to be an artist. This also is an aspect of colonialism. People of our generation these days no longer have faith in self-esteem, self-belief, and what you were meant for. I choose to be an artist, maybe because I was born to an art family, but I had a choice to leave the art scene. I went further to study art in school because I discovered myself in time and decided to dig further. While I was in school, most of my colleagues would tell me when we graduate, I'm not sure I'm going back to the studio. At some point, I had that thought, but I kept on finding myself back to the studio again. So, talking about some of the effects, you need to understand who you are in order to advance your abilities in society. The youth these days believe you have to use your environment to succeed, just like talking about the global pastor. The youth these days believe you have to go in the fast lane to become successful. At the time I was choosing to become an artist, like a full-time artist, many people ask me, is this what you're going to do to build a house? Is this what you're going to do to live the big life you dreamt about? And in all of this, I didn't have answers to it because the only thing I knew about myself was I found my identity. I felt I had a platform I could speak from, which is through my sculptures. Now, the other negative aspects within youth in the academic sector, we were taught that our traditional items, we were taught that our traditional artwork were fetish. This also has caused more psychological harm amongst creative youth in our society. When I was growing up in my secondary school, I had a couple of friends that would go to school together and they come through the house before they go to the house. So when they get to my house, they see some artifacts around, my parents, all of them making art. And there's always this feeling we have like, Kelly, you guys are doing juju. You get? So because of this, I didn't tell people I came from this kind of background, because whenever I say so, the response is people are making juju. So I didn't even, because the reason most people see me like, we need to do this in secondary school, and we had no idea. I couldn't tell you because if I say so, you will assume you're making juju. You get? This is psychological draining, psychologically draining. When people express yourself, this is what colonialism has caused. In a bid to further tarnish the image of our cultural practices, our cultural heritage, somehow religiosity has further helped to break our self-esteem in what we have. When you go to religious houses today, they tell you these African images are fetish. How would a young creative who aspires to be so big like Leonardo da Vinci, who is born in Benin, ever imagine seeing himself at that level when every house, every organization he goes to, they tell you whatever you do is fetish? You get it? This also transjoined into secondary education up to the tertiary level. I remember there was a time in my school because my lecturers know my artistic background, so when it comes to this particular lecture, I'm always in the front row because they ask me questions. And at this point, it was about broadcasting, which is the main topic this day. And the lecturer says to me, Kelly, is it true that whenever people are making this broadcasting, there's always a certain ritual you do before the process? And I was like, I don't think you've seen for me. He said, maybe I'm lying. This is the psychological effects of the colonization and how it has affected us. He said that maybe I'm lying or maybe I don't say the truth. Then I asked him, I said, you've seen me working before. Did you notice me going behind doors for any ritual? He said, maybe I didn't if I came on that very day. Because so these are some effects we don't even know. I took note of these things because I'm an artist. This is what I'm choosing to do. So whatever you say, I take note of it. It either demoralizes me or my mindset is always about, I don't care what you say, I just have to do what I believe in. So I believe what I do is not fetish. I believe it's a means of documentation. I believe it's functional. And besides, talking about the functionality of our art, Africans never made any art for art's sake. Our forefathers never made art for art's sake for aesthetic reasons. These are colonial eras. Art in the old time was made for functional purpose. It was art for a purpose, either for documentation, either for household uses and all of that. So how can we call all of this fetish? So amongst us youth, there are a lot of people who aspire to be in this creative space, but because of these little things they heard, some are swinging out of their originality, and then now they are losing our identity as a people. Today, in our curriculum in schools, none of our traditional artists has a name. From KG1 to final year, all we have artists, Leonardo da Vinci, all we have artists, Picasso, they were greater men here. The era of looting cost us more harm because even though at the time there was nothing like black and white record, that's pen and paper, but I believe our ancestors has a way of recording their names with their kind of words. If you come to this art space without seeing any name of any art, you can easily identify whose artist the art belongs to a specific artist. So at that time of invention, I believe in the palace there is a certain way arts were being stored according to families or according to your specializations. By that, if you're the custodian of those artifacts, you can easily say these artifacts were done by family A and B. The looting crumbled all of this identity. First, the negative effects of that looting cost us loss of identity as a people, and secondly, loss of identity as an artist. So, if we had a name, if we had a word, then we had a name. The names were lost with this process. The reason we're talking about Leonardo da Vinci and all is because they have a name. So, this whole thing cost us more harm. There are a lot of positive effects of colonialization, of which I believe some of us are even benefiting from it. But we will not applaud all of that when we know we have lost our originality. The only way we can build a better society is to study the history, work on it now, and further build the future. But what we are all doing now is it's like we are working double time trying to build what our parents already did. That's strenuous for us of this generation. Our parents already did a lot, but there's nothing to show because there was no proper documentation. Our parents documented, but the people who came to loot us only told us their kind of story, their side of the story. We had a better story. And I believe when these artifacts are returned, we have a better story to tell.
Thank you. A round of applause. Please, thank you. Please, you can get your questions ready, either in written form or by raising your hand when it gets to that segment. So, Mr. Mark Brown, this question is directed to you. And basically, how do we reverse the negative effect of colonialism? So, I'd like to do more of that. I feel like whatsoever comes up from our own space, like our own society, as a development, it sounds tiring to us youths. Probably because the process is stressful, or we find them too archaic, too backward, too old. And this is as a result of all we've heard, all that a large number or rather a better number of us have heard, all we've experienced. We've seen both sides. It's like this is heaven and this is hell. Can we relate to what I'm saying? Okay, I've seen productive trends, and as a creative, one thing I can boast of is that organizing meaningful directories, it's difficult to get response. Sorry. Okay. Am I audible enough? Yes. Okay, thank you. So, as a creative, something I've come to notice is that organizing meaningful directions for youth as a youth is one of the most difficult things to do because they do not respond. I'm not talking about everybody here, I'm just talking about my own experience. But when it comes to things that are less in scale of preference, the turn-up is usually wow. And of course, it's a mindset, obviously. But there's this incident that took place. Thank you. Please tell me your something. Okay. There's an incident that took place with this. I'm sure all of us can relate. The upset guy, the viral video. The event took place, and in less than 24 hours, that negative effect spread like wildfire. And youths were actually celebrating it. I'm telling this because the next day, when I was in school, that was like a day after the event, school or somewhere, a guy actually looked at me and said, I will upset you. Jokingly though, but that's already a mindset. I'm very sure that kind of person cannot recite the national anthem fluently. These are the issues. So what can we do to reverse the negative effect? Especially in the university space, because I'm sure you can relate to that. Yeah.
My name is Mwa Sambakura. I'm a student of the University of Benin, village, civil engineering. Thank you. First of all, I want to talk about colonialism. I'll give you a short background of what colonialism is. Colonialism is defined as the policy or practice of acquiring full or partial political control over another country. Okay. I want to say that there are different types of positive impacts that consume us as youth. But there's something I want to say before I talk about university. Okay. The positive impacts that the British have done to us, there are different positive impacts for us. Like, first of all, let's talk about our Christianity and also our education aspects. Thank you. If I say Christianity aspect, I'll say that when I was little, my grandfather always like, oh, let's go to the village, let's go to the village. Oh, then, what are we doing in the village? I can't go to the village, stuff like that. So the day I followed my granddad to the village, and I saw arts, like, I was asking, what is this? And what's the meaning of all this? I was just trying to think like I was curious to know. So he told me that this stuff was made by his friend. I was like, wow, this is really, really nice. So when I saw that, I was really happy to see because I love art right from time when I was small, everything. So I love art. And I found out that he told me a story that most of them then they normally because now they're not Christian, but then they worship different type of gods. Yeah, some worship trees, some worship different things at all, anything God they worship. But when they came to colonize us, Christianity came in place. Can you hear me? Christianity came in place. And that actually affected us and improved our lifestyle in terms of worshiping. Not then, we normally this art was our God. But when the colonized us, we found out that, okay, there's one true God. Can you hear me? I want you to be in that class. There's one true God. Then I came to say, okay, and the educational aspect. In the educational aspect, then my dad said, this is actually funny. My dad said then, when they were growing up, they won't let them go to school. Like, if you give birth to your child, you will tell your child that you're not going back to school. They don't like school then. Anything about school is zero. They prefer carrying their slaves, their housemates, then take them to school. And if you understand what I'm trying to say, they'll take them to school. But unknown to them that they're actually making a great mistake. Can you hear me? I want to explain. So they're actually making a great mistake. Before then they came to colonize us, they now found out that education is actually a key. It's actually a key in our modern world. Now, I want to answer your question. In what you said about the state normally, internet has actually affected, like, eating too much already, and it's actually good. Like, I know what I'm going to say is like, actually good in terms of communication skills. But now, we have to retrace back to our culture and how they have colonized us, the British. So we have to take it back and make sure that, okay, let's see how we can affect this present youth. Because if we are not able to retrace our steps, it's going to eat into us very deeply. In school, when we were talking about the post-day, I was able to relate too fast because they are eating deep into us. In school, what is the mission artist, right? Yeah, and he has grown to so what I advise us as youth, we should try to remember our roots. One, we should try to remember our roots, and also we should not forget that this stage we are in life, we have to make sure that anything we do does not affect us deeply. So we should always learn that this internet of the thing can feed to our memory. Anything we do at all, just know that it's going to affect us a lot. So I'm going to talk about infrastructure development in terms of positive impact. I'm going to read this out. Infrastructure were not left out before the colonial era in Nigeria. We had tattered roads, mud houses, and no structural plan at all. Then we live in houses that were not well planned. You go to some areas in Nigeria, you see that there are some areas where you see house here, you see another house here, you see another house here, like they are not well planned. But when they colonize us, we now need to realize that this part is actually wrong. That's how I'm studying civil engineering, so I'm trying to infuse this part. When we are dealing with structures, steel, we make sure that all our reinforcements are well in place. We have different types of reinforcements. We have the white system, we have the white 12, we have the white 20. These are what reinforcements that are being used to build houses. And also, we have concrete. We have mixed ratios. 1:2:4, we have 1:3:8. We have different type of ratios. I'm trying to do that build your house, but then they don't have anything like that. You don't have anything like, okay, this is the road. Well, nothing. Then you have all those small parts. Sorry. Use legs to pass. Like just from like from just stage, normal, like just pass. But now you can now construct roads, bridges. Hello? Can I construct road and bridges? Where we can have a wide space. Like with all of them, like we are able to pass. So what I'm trying to say now is that colonize, when they did colonize was British, that really helped us with laws. Apart from the negative part, but that really helped us with laws. Because if not them, like if they are not colonized us, we are not able to what? Know all these things. So in our youthful time now, we should always know that they are actually help us in terms of infrastructures, in terms of education, and in terms of Christianity. Thank you.
Osaru has something to say in addition to what we just said, so please just pass the mic quickly. It will come back to you. Thank you.
I just want to make going back to what you said, key issue around mental slavery, trying to decolonize our minds. From this day, I want us to know that we should change that narrative of we came from nothing. We're actually, like from the documentation of people who came to the Benin Kingdom, they documented that we're actually way civilized than Europe. So we should actually change that mindset of we came from nothing and we had nothing. So that's where the decolonization starts from, right? And I think as young people, we should try as much as possible to learn. Because I think when you meet like an average, probably a good person in Nigeria, and you ask them certain questions about their history, the truth is that none of us have anything to say. Like I can go and say 70% of the youth, we really don't know our history, we don't know our roots, even our family, probably lineage, taking back. I think these are the things we should start like acknowledging ourselves with right from now, in order to key into our true selves and identify as true Africans, true Edolites, and true Nigerians. So we came from something and we had a system that worked for us. So yeah, that's just what I wanted to chip in.
Thank you so much, Charity. You want to add something to what you said? Okay.
One major way we can hold this colonial negative effect is by going back to our roots, just as they have said. Someone said, if you want to hide something from a black man, put it in a book, write it in a book. Because Africans, one thing that's common amongst Africans is that we all read. And if you check our reads and this present generation, they do not read. Let us try to go back to our history, just as she has said. Let us read. If you have read the book Things Fall Apart by Chinua, colonialism is one major topic portrayed in that book. How the British invaded Africa and Okonkwo is major character in the book. He did not allow them to blend his mind. That's what he used. But the people, it was the Igbo society. The people then felt that they had conquered him. But in the other sense, he actually conquered them because he did not allow them to subjugate him. I don't know if you get. So one major thing that colonialism has done is civilization, and this has a negative and a positive impact. But Africans are allowing the negative impact to dominate the education, we can also use it as a way to overpower the negative things. Just like the likes of China, Bodesha, Peda, and the rest of them. If you can actually use education rightly, you can overpower the negative effects of colonialism in Africa.
Thank you. Okay, it's amazing because you just talked about the question I was going to throw to you. Meaning, from what you just said, it's not just about the negative effect of colonialism. You're saying youths will also have a role to play. Like we're playing a role in this thing dominating our minds and everyday life. Okay, so I think sometime last year, I was opportune to be in the Thank you. Okay, so sometime last year, I was opportune to be in the list of elders, and a man said, he was like, years back in my days, I'm quoting you now, youths would usually go down to greet, like kneel, prostrate, bow heads. And it was like, but it's so sad because now they rather just take off one earpiece or stretch out their arms for a handshake. So this boils down to moral decadence. I want you to talk about the possible solutions. Just talk about both solutions and danger. This has affected us dressing, use of diction. We have musicians, Nigerian musicians, a lot of words that are supposed to be censored are flying up and down at the bus stop. You can download these things, you have access to them. And it doesn't just have to do with us. Even the younger generations, they don't have access to things that are not meant for them. You understand what I'm saying? Character, a whole lot. You see these things. So I'd like you to deliberate on it. And talk about, now I'm just going to advise us. Yeah, because I don't feel like there's any, we're not going to deliver all the youths in Africa, we're not going to lay hands on them. All we can do is awareness, keep saying it and keep practicing it. This is what we're doing. So I'll just like you to throw a word out there, because I believe and other people are listening. Thank you.
Okay, basically, moral decadence. I feel I was watching Instagram one day and I forgot her name. Lady, she's somehow celebrity on Instagram. She posted something. She said, instead of bloggers to promote negative stuff, see if like this hospital issue, if there's any negative thing that just happens in Nigeria, it will take up to 30 minutes for it to spread. And these people that spread these things are Nigerians. So instead of bloggers to spread the negative things more than positive things, I would advise that morality, how people should dress, right pictures, words that teenagers and youth are supposed to use should be promoted more than negative things on the internet, because a lot of persons, almost everybody in the world have access to the internet, and it's one of the largest ways to reach out to majority of people. So instead of always promoting negative things, I feel we should promote the positive things more than the negative things. Okay, I remember this scenario now. It was about the outburst when people said the outbursts are using ladies for rituals, and you could see it on every platform: Instagram, WhatsApp, Twitter. Instead of promoting these things, we should promote the things that will better our youth and our teenagers. And then secondly, I feel our parents, not just, I know that our African parents are doing a great job, but I think they should do more. Talk to your children. We are not the whites, we are Africans. We have a way we dress. We have a way we portray ourselves. Instead of allowing westernization to overcloud our thinking as Africans, we should go back to our roots. There was a way then it should not be overlooked, because when we start overlooking these things, we'll become more like the British, we'll become more like the white, instead of retracing ourselves. I don't know if you get.
Thank you.
And I think in our schools, in our curriculum, in the educational sectors, these things should also be taught in the schools. Morality, how you should behave as a lady, how you should behave as a guy, how you should behave as people, as Africans, should be incorporated in our curriculum, in the educational sector, and it should start from early age, because when we reach the foundational sector, it will be hard to put these things in the minds of our youth and teenagers.
Thank you. To add to what she just said, before I open the floor to questions, you have a question? Okay, I'll get to you. Before I ask the question, I want to add to what we just said. The aim of this whole thing, as African youth, as young people, we're not trying to downgrade anybody. That's what I think. We're not trying to downgrade the British people, the Europeans, or stuff like that. We're trying to accept who we are, truly. So it's not like we're in a cultural competition, a competition of values. We have forgotten our roots, starting points, and a whole lot of other things. And basically, it's not a matter of where you've been or where you're trying to go. It's a matter of who you are. Because it's what's inside you that's going to illuminate everywhere you find yourself, even the darkest spots. So that is why understanding and accepting your identity is very, very important. So if you have a question, please see the line. Okay. Please tell us your name.
My name is Anastasia. Good afternoon. So, yeah, you made mention of earrings and all that. I want to ask you a question. I'm from Maiduguri, Borno. I'm a northerner. And yes, we tend to pierce our ears. I have 4 here. So, when you made mention of it being a British kind of a thing, you understand what I mean? Please, can you maybe elaborate further so I can understand based on the you made mention of the morals, yeah. So
Okay. In our present generation, they say when you give people chance, they would like to get more chances. I don't even have ever read that phrase before. Like you are giving somebody a chance and the person is trying to get more chances. You get so as I think I said, I said these things are all wrong. But then when you overlook it, it becomes you get. If you really want to trace these things, it did not start from Africa. It starts from British, start from that side. I don't know if you understand. So we are trying to copy everything that they are doing, and we are forgetting who we are. We are forgetting our roots. Hello, I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So my point is that we should, if my friend asks for those persons, I will not should still be my friend. Do you get? But then what I'm saying is that we should not forget our roots, that this is who we are.
I'm trying to cut you short, but I think piercing as an entity is art. Piercing is art, for what I think. Because I've seen books, I've read books of some people, some African people. In fact, this simple piercing is not great. So we have really big holes here, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so.
We are all here to educate ourselves and exchange thoughts. You get so they say opinion is relative. It's relative. We are all adults. It's relative. So if you go to this part of the world, it might not be accepted. Go to this other part of the world, it might be accepted. But if you check some African homes, they will not allow such. That is where I'm coming from. Do you understand? If you check some African homes, that will not be accepted. But if we say that persons and all of that are acts and what have you, it's fine.
to chip in. Oh, no, her first, then I'll come to you. She's in front first. Please, just a minute. Charity Council on duty call. One of our main panelists just walked in, Mrs. Bimpe. Please, a round of applause for her. A round of applause for her, please. Okay, in the beginning. Yes, please, somebody should usher her to the podium. Please keep clapping till she gets here. Please. You're welcome, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Okay.
Okay, on the issue of piercing and art, except the movie, still in the north of Ghana. We should not forget that what we are seeing here is this discourse of it's not allowed, it's allowed, it's permitted, it's not permitted, range at least is permitted and all that. It's all part of the effect of colonialism. Because initially we, like Mr. Notice said, we had different kingdoms. And in that kingdom, it's a norm. You know, the piercing, the body art, and all that, it's a norm. You know, this, I think abolishment or erosion, I don't know how to what to put it, of certain form of art, body art, and all that, is an effect of religion on our people. Now they'll tell you, you shouldn't put too many piercings because it's now when you look at the sinner, you know, your men piercing, you look like, you know. So those are part of the effect of colonialism. You understand? So art, piercings, body arts, and all those stuff. It's something that is African. It's our thing. You know, if you look at even our dressing now, I see there was a time when I did Beyonce and all that, they start wearing African prints and all that. These are things that we no longer associate with. And if you look at it, we still have those kingdoms. Even though we are now Nigeria, but we still have those kingdoms. And somehow we on this side, we don't travel. So because we don't get to know, we are not interested about the other side of the story. We are not interested to know about your culture, my culture, what is obtainable. Somehow religion now becomes Christianity. Christianity is not, I'm a Christian, sorry, I'm Christian. But Christianity is not a benefit. It's not something they dash us. It's not something they give to us as salvation. Because before the British, we've had trade relations with people from outside our shores, from the Europeans and all that. It's just that after the Benin conference, we happened to see them too. Now, the Oliarosa is an indication that we have met with religion different from our kind of native religion. So we need to be open-minded as youth. We need to know our culture for ourselves, like he said. We need to know our own story. We need to know what used to be. You understand? We need to be open-minded. You could come in with 10 piercings. I need to be open-minded to accept you. Ask you, why do you have so much hair? Say, oh, in my place. I'm like, okay, I've learned. You know, we need to be open-minded so that we can actually decolonize our minds and actually now merge into a single entity, a cultural entity. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Well, she almost said everything I wanted to say, but I was concerned about the piercing. The other lady said it was more of a Western culture. I would say piercing is typically an African thing. I would say piercing is not typically an African thing. There are so many cultures that the Europeans, the Westerners, adopted from us here. They took it to their town, they refined it and brought it back to us for us to buy at even more cost. At this time when Africans did their piercing, religion came in and they destroyed this fact about us. Today, if you went to church, a certain kind of body backing you have, you assume you are from this, you are from that. But this was a form of identifying your what's it called, your culture, like where you come from in a particular place. Same as tattoo. At that time, the English called it Ibu. Even before the British came, there was a name for it, meaning there was already a culture for tattoo. It was a way of identifying where you come from. Again, colonialism came in, they brought religion. They said, if you do this, you're going to hell. But where is the true hell? Okay. This same culture was taken to Europe. They rebranded it, they call it tattoo. Because you see Jay-Z wearing it, the feet is good. But when your granddad did it, the first was going to hell. These are still some of the effects. Most people are not that cool with tattoo. For me, I don't have tattoo. There's no amount of money given out or when you get tattoo. I have no problem with anybody having tattoos. This is some of the effects of colonialism we're talking about.
Thank you, sir. I want to direct this question to our panelists. Now, as around when you spoke last, the last laboratory, and it was really amazing, to be honest. But there's something you made mention of. For some reasons, I just couldn't come out to ask that question, but I'm glad I have the opportunity today. So, as a student in the University of Benin, there's a course I offer called Anthropology and Ethnography. Yeah, I have some classmates here. So that on its own, I see that the development, the cultural development to eradicate the effect, negative effect of colonialism. But sadly, Africans, I'll use me as an example. Is it ethnocentrism or something that's like the act of trying to make another person's culture inferior or trying to talk down or bad mouth? Because it's only in Benin you hear that Benin and Ishan or Etan, they hate themselves. Or you hear a young boy tell a young girl, my mother doesn't want me to get married to a girl from Benin. I can't marry a Yoruba person. Yes, I agree, racism happens everywhere, but I think it's too much of this part of the world, and slowly it's eating into roots. The hatred, it's visible, very, very visible. So I'd like to give us some awareness on the very negative effects of that. Because I believe we have to embrace our culture, we must not each other's culture, not just what the perspectives. So I want you to talk about that. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Okay, that's first of all, I didn't know that there is a course like that now. It's very, very
Difficult.
Okay, for me, I would say that I think the last time I mentioned is that in every culture, every stream, every past, there is always the negative part and there's always the positive part. There is always good, there is always bad in every history of civilization or everything like that. And again, because we are human, we tend to choose based on our own, choose based on what's profits us, on our own selfish interest. Now, I'm going to give an example. In my own culture, for example, I'm Yoruba. There is a proverb that says that, I'm going to say it, I'll interpret. It says that, if you've not been to another person's land, another person's farm, you think yours is the biggest. So what that's saying that there is room for growing, there is room for exploitation, there is room to explore, there is room to appreciate other people's culture. So that's a good thing, right? And that's what I know. So if you say, for example, in Benin, they think their own culture is Some people that are personally proud on their own will tell you, there is this saying in Benin that Benin first. And I guess, I can't say it's in Benin, but you see, they do a deal right, they take Benin first. So we see ourselves in events and we see cultural parade and they tell you Benin first. So I'm the second, and you know, yes, we see all these things, but then if we don't have proper understanding of culture in your course, for example, if you don't have, it's the study of human rights, their culture, their ways of life and all of that. So you have to have a deeper study. You don't just pick things from the surface and conclude. Why? For me, that phrase was for a very long time very annoying to me. Every time I get to see myself in that situation, I'm like, oh, so it's my own that I expect from, right? But then, if you don't calm down and sit down and reason why that is, you won't get a deeper meaning from it. And again, you don't tackle a problem with a problem. You don't want to solve a problem by giving yourself more problems. If you think that, oh, Benin have this attitude, they don't want to, they think yours is inferior, you know, so find out why. You'll be shocked, actually. Find out why. I'm answering your questions directly. I can't talk for the Beninese, but then I know what you're saying. And I also know that there is always a reason for that. There's a movie I was watching with my friends recently, and the father was trying to caution the daughters. They were bragging about just winning a particular competition. And so the father was cautioning them to stop bragging. And they said they were not bragging. So one of my friends said, but they were not bragging, they were just excited about the win. And I said, it's bragging because you're bringing down somebody else when you are talking about your own upliftment. You understand? So Benin can say so much about how powerful they are, how brilliant they are, how unique they are. I don't feel intimidated. I shouldn't feel intimidated because you know your own and I know my own. Some people can automatically feel intimidated by that, and then you are the force. Okay, you are the force in your space. I give that to you. Do you understand? You don't rush into conclusion. If Benin is very proud of their culture, I've been in Benin for so many years and I know that about them. And it's a good thing. And I don't feel intimidated by that. Of course, they are great. They are all sorts of powerful. So am I. You understand? So most times when you are trying to understand people in that course, I've read so much about it. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go and find out, you know, so that I can also pick something. But I love, of course, I know that when you are studying people, you need to calm down. You need to find deeper meaning to the things that they say.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. Please, do we have any question from the audience? Okay.
Oh, mine is a reaction. My name is David. My name is David. It's a reaction. David is a senator. I'm reacting to the white man who said colonialism brought us good structures in terms of buildings, that they were not very good designs. Before now, there were good designs. Can you see the pictorial representation of those days? Some part of the city was designed in a spiral mode. And if you look at our buildings, they were very functional. Now, if you go to Roman buildings, you find atrium, a centerpiece in a house, where the water comes in. Sometimes they put their bed at that point. That's the central part. It's a traditional part of Benin homes. I don't know how long they've been there, but they've been there. They call them autor, good, exactly. So that is something modern buildings are not even copying. Now, if you go to some traditional buildings in Benin, you also see that in front, an entrance, a set of columns, they call them colonnades, then there's always a seat. If visitors come, there's a seat molded in front. That is also a functional part of the building. Then if you see the positioning of the houses, you will discover that they leave a lot of room at the back, and the house tends to move towards the front. That is all planned. Now, in those days, the streets were narrow because they were mainly used by pedestrians. They were not as wide as they are now. Yes, but even then, they were planned, they were swept. They talked about how far. They usually settled around rivers and they dug wells. That is not a problem. I think we are failing to learn from the benefits and things that we have learned from our ancestors. So when you go to a civil engineering course and you have somebody to tell you that in those days our houses were planless and so on and so forth. Even the way they wove the raffia is a skill that has not been passed on. People did not learn it. How will you put raffia one upon the other so that it will drip rain without falling into the house? That is one point. We built bridges. They were built with wood. So people were able to cross rivers, even very rapid moving rivers, and so on and so forth. Then another point I have, the history, the incursion of the Europeans into Benin, for instance. Did it do us more harm than good? Now, if you look at that, you will say, well, they stole those stuff. I don't think if the Europeans didn't steal those stuff, some of us who went through schools would have had knowledge of those things. So we are coming to know more about them because they were taken out, and now we're asking for them back. But the truth is that for me, it's a personal opinion. I don't know how prepared we are to receive those things. I don't know whether we're building new spaces. I know there are some movements here and there. I know should I call him young man, the MD of this place is part and parcel of it. But I think we need to look forward, far ahead, and we need to think about how we can incorporate it into our education system. Now, almost every day on a daily basis, I'm a teacher and I run a small school. And I'm looking for images of Africans depicting this, depicting that. Recently, I was trying to make a text for phonics, teaching reading. Most of the items are, for instance, we are teaching the letter I, and it sounds igloo. Who knows about igloo here? Or you're teaching English, you have to. Then you're looking for pictures of men and women, you see white faces. So I will say that is laziness on our part, terrible laziness. We are not putting things up. We want to receive from the other side. We are not investigating our cultures. People are coming from the other side to investigate our cultures for us and tell us this and tell us that. The bangles that you put on around your legs, yes, it's becoming fashionable again. But you know, in the East, in Igbo culture, they run like 10, 15 bangles on their legs, and it was fashionable. Even round ring that's like space saucer, it was fashionable at that time. All of that is going out. Nobody is documenting this or that. Someone once came to tell us that our ancestors were monkeys and believed in trees. True or false? We made clothes? Yes. We also were bed-chested because our weather was hot. Now, one point before I forget. Now, most of the discoveries that were made in Africa, they were made on the eastern part of Africa, where the weather is drier, the soil is also not as moist, doesn't retain water as much as this part of the world. So when there is a fossil or when there is an artifact, you can find it many years after. But most of the things that were created here, apart from the metal sculptures, the bronzes that have lived long, the buildings, they dilapidated. Once you throw off the roof of a mud building, water comes down. So it's difficult for even archaeologists to find patterns of the kind of homes that we live in. But I think it is our responsibility as this generation that is still growing to do something about our past, to record them, to put them online, and still tell them that we are proud of our culture. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Over to you.
Good evening. My name is Tony. I'm reacting to what the speaker about when he listed Christianity as a positive impact of colonialism. Most times when we think our journey began with the white man from South Africa, hence Christianity. Meanwhile, our traditional religion was functioning properly, it was going fine before the white man came. Now, if you say Christianity is positive, you see every day we see new churches popping up everywhere. The more they pop, the more we experience more moral indicators in society. So how would you react to that? But if you go back to the old days, where decency was the prime, you see our girls properly dressed, you see the men behaving properly in society. There was traditional religion there. So we can't just say because the white man said Christianity is Christianity is okay. Yes, our Christianity has brought in some good things. But Christianity was also used as a tool to brainwash us. Look at the history of objects from Africa, precious artifacts, for example. The white man comes and says these objects are precious. So what do we do? We started, and what did they do? They pack them and take them to Europe. So many things like that. So what we need to look at things from this and realize Africa was working fine, functioning well, even before the Europeans came. The Europeans took us backward. The Mali came in. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, sir.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Godfrey Omorojo. I'm a filmmaker and I'm the founder of this Film Festival. Some days back, I was preparing for an event and I was looking for beats to use to assert the truth of what I'm putting on. And my wife said, you, a Christian, not only Christian, even a pastor, wearing beads. I said, look at you. Beads are not fetish. I live in Wikilonia. Beads are for kings, are for princes, are for princesses. So, and I got my beads and I went my way. Religion, I think, has really brought a lot of harm to our people. And we need to move from that and do something about it. And that's why I like to stand up. That's why I'm so happy for this program. And I think if we know what we are doing, we can start a movement from here. And that movement will be everyone here, present here, taking it on upon ourselves to promote our culture, to promote what we are known for, whether you are Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa, if I ask now how many of us can speak our language, local language, your mother tongue, many of us, we cannot. I would just like to plead with the organizers that we can, for us to start a movement. I don't know what we are going to call it, but let's look at it, because it starts from us. If we have something like this, and we are about 50 or more here, if we start promoting it on our internet, on our social, all our social media platforms, we can go far. So, let's start from us. The reason I'm here is because I'm a filmmaker. We had a meeting some days back, and we were looking at how we can record history. Our history. If you go out, if you go, you won't find anything. We're talking about Jaja of Opobo, for instance. We could not find tangible information on such a history. So, as a filmmaker, I'm here to get information and to also learn on how we can go about all this and get more facts. And that's one of the main reason I say I must be here. Let me find that, because I don't know much about this reparation, restitution thing. Let me come and learn. So let it start from us. As a filmmaker, we will do our best. We'll gather information. Then we'll go to we'll go on set, then shoot. Then I want to also say that my presence here has given me an idea. The meeting we had yesterday, we have been looking for a team that will be befitting for our film festival this year. And I think we can look around this restitution, this reparation of our artifacts. And so most of the films that will be submitted this year, we're going to push it out that it should have something to do with this topic that we are here for. I have got something here today, and I want to say thank you to the organizer. Thank you.
Thank you very much. My name is Usaigo William Anthony. I'm a filmmaker. I would like to start by thanking my friend on White for what he said, because that is what has spurred most of us to want to respond. We are here because we ask questions. And if you are in any forum where people ask questions, you can be very sure that you will not go astray. The major reason I'm responding is because most of us here are creators. And as creators, we stand as the ambassadors of wherever we come from. I'm very interested in knowledge. The reason most Africans feel they are inferior to other culture is because lack of, or the paucity of knowledge they have about their culture. I'm sure if we know that in 1550, Oba Oroboa built a ship, I'm sure we will know that we are not inferior to the Britons or the others. I'm sure if we know that a few years before then, we was in the naval school in Portugal, the same school where greats like Vasco da Gama had taught just a few years before then. I'm sure if we know that around 1552, Oba Oroboa could sail from Benin to Lagos, where he founded Lagos, he could sail to Benin Republic. I'm sure we'll be comfortable and we'll know that we've not gone forward ever since. That was about 500 years ago, I'm sure. And 500 years after that, have we been able to make ships? Do they make ships in Benin currently? No. I'm sure if you know the type of labor, the type of effort, the type of calculation that went into the making of the moats around Benin, I'm sure we're very impressed. In the last few years, different successive governments have been thinking about making the Benin waterfall, the Benin water store project, and some others. So many billions have gone into. Have they succeeded? But these things were created by men who did not have shovels. They had spades that were created that were made from wood, and they were able to achieve such success. As a filmmaker, one of the biggest challenges some of us have is in recreating some things that happened in the past. We are currently in pre-production of my feature film, Edeleyo, and one of the biggest headaches we have now is every now and then we are in meetings with the production designers and want to tell them that I want to see the spectacle in the palace. I don't want to see the palace of where 2 or 3 are gathered. If these things were removed from the walls, if these plaques were removed from the walls in the palace, and there are so many, if we have people that were employed specially to service the palace, and they were not 2 broadcasters in the group, if those people were employed specially, then you should know the number of works you have. So I think we should learn more about our people. The history books are there. And to increase the confidence you have in yourself. I want to close by saying this. The people, everybody sitting here respects our culture. That's why they are here. That's why we are all here. Everybody sitting here is very much interested in the progress of our culture. And I think that is why we are here. I think what we should invest in more going forward is to learn more about our people. We cannot give what we don't have. They've told us so many things about our fetish, our works are. They've told us so many things about how much our culture was against women. Forgetting that around 1472, a woman was nominated by the Zamani to become Oba in this land. As we speak, there is no female American president. But about 500 years before now, the Benins that people say do not give women opportunities to rule had already given a woman an opportunity to rule. So I think we should read more about ourselves. The next time I see my friend, the man putting on white, I think we'll have a conversation, and I'm sure he'll be more proud, he'll be prouder of his roots than he is currently. Thank you very much.
Our speaker on green. You said something about migration and about how the Britons took our artifacts. That was the main cause of our migration, trying to seek greener pastures and rest. But I have a question that goes like this: is the migration caused by our disconnection to our roots or by our failed economy?
stories about many people that church has affected. Now, I did not say the cutting away of our artifacts is the cause of our migration. I said the colonialism of our mind is the cause of our migration. And that colonialism is the reason for our failed economy. Because I'm sure if I give you 10 million now, you apply for colonialism. That is the cause of our problem, not our economy. If I refuse to leave this shore and I add value to my economy, he does using art, someone does using filmmaking, someone else does using whatever. It gets to a point, our hard work, our effort will surpass failed policies. It gets to a point, our effort will challenge failing policies. It gets to a point, okay, I had a dream to have a gallery. My father's not an artist, but my brother is. And I went to a Boston college, and right from GS2, I used to always be like, I have an assignment, like I'll work here, I'll teach you how to write, I always do this thing. Now, I don't know at what point I got to realize that the problem we have in our society is the disconnect of our youth with our culture. Now, I'm a sad story. I can't speak Benin for 2 minutes without speaking some English. And that is a sad story. I've trained champions, and I am graced to raise champions in a short time. But the problem, I never thought of culture. The problem that made me start thinking about culture was keeping these champions at the apex, at the peak. When we get there, the next thing you're like, hello, hey mom, what's up? You know, you start finding that people that when they come before you, they're all covered up. After a while, they start, they start doing all kind of. And I realize that they start falling. So I put in so much effort. It is not the economy this time, is it? It is that you're walking into a basket. I have to sit down and look at my work from 2010, where I started taking chess as a tool to help transit to school. I started looking at my work, I started looking at my stories. I can tell you so many stories. But for how long did they remain there? Is it my fault? It is not the economy. I now got to realize that when you ask these people, they can't even speak their language. They don't know that you should greet your elders. There are so many things our culture asks to us subconsciously. You don't even know. There are times when people will call you. I think you see it among our elder folks. Somebody will call them on the phone. They'll be like, don't know, sir. They're on the phone. You still see it. It's just there. It's just there subconsciously. And once that disconnect is there, you have no value for what you have. You understand?
You now start looking at the Western world as in all they have to offer is the best. What they have to give is better than what you have. And then you start coveting what they have. So what are we saying? You start thinking of migration. Where did that disconnect come from? It came from that invasion, which now made them settle down and started colonizing us. When General Lokoshere and his activist chiefs were really giving them headaches, they started starving villages, burning villages, which now made them give him up. Why? Their resolve has been broken. Their mind has finally been won over. They are finally giving in. So someone that can give up, that can give in to the wills of his colonial masters. After a while, I start looking at it that this rapper I'm tying himself. I think this way, whatever is better than Do you understand? Now, the failed economy is not the reason for our migration. Are you getting my point? The problem is that we don't value what we have. If you hold on to your culture, we have our own educational system. Had we not been colonized, had our artifacts not been taken away, we will know them. We will know them. Had our artifacts not been taken away, had we not been invaded, we still will have internet today. Because we had interactions, we've had trade dealings with every other person. Before the Benin conference, where they not decided to start seeding off. What about Ethiopia today? You know their story. It's a story of resilience. You cannot say that's how the artifacts that were carted away is as much as our own. They were not colonized the way we were. You understand? So, do they not have internet just like we do? So the point is that, like he said, before the invasion, who were we? Who are we? Who are you? What do you have? There are so many things you can do with very little here, and then everybody will know you. There are so many things you can do with very little, and you will make so much. But you will rather spend that amount because to travel out. If you hear how much people pay to go on the road, you will be amazed. Someone that can raise 1 million naira is a failed economy and put it on the road. It is a failed mindset. It is a disconnect. It's like you have no problem somewhere. So, if you calculate the money everybody uses traveling out, and we keep it here, let the economy be doing what it's doing. It will not affect what you put. If we don't put our collective effort, migration is money. We are losing money, not only minds. It is money. So if we keep all these things inside, at a point, our hard work, our effort, our resilience will overwhelm failed economy. It will overwhelm failed policies. So, migration is not because of failed economy. It's just another excuse. When you ask a youth or any young person, like, what do you think? You will not even finish saying your question. They'll tell you the government. It's an automatic answer. It is corruption. It is failed economy. Who makes failed economies? Who makes corrupt leaders? Did they come from somewhere? Point a corrupt leader is somebody's uncle. Even if your grandfather started, they may have prospered somewhere. So, at a point, we are all connected. We should take responsibility for action. If we have a failed economy, we are all part of it. And if we want to see it get better, it's going to take our collective effort put together. So migration is going to is a product of a disconnect from our culture and the sense of who we are as a people.
Please permit me to over to our panelists. After now, I'll come to you.
Thank you. I recall that said, I couldn't save a lot of slaves because some doesn't know that we were slaves. So if we don't start from knowing, we can't even move forward. If you don't, just like what Mr. Alzheimer said, if you don't start from researching, if you don't start finding out facts, because if the colonial masters themselves, and I read recently in a book and it says colonialism by definition is immoral. By then, that's what they are saying. And we, the colonized, are saying that there are advantages. There is none. There is none. If we starts by understanding that fact. And how do we understand that fact? We read, we research, we go back home. I always say that I know a lot that I know about my culture because I always go home. I always ask questions from the right people. I always read the right materials. When my classmates will complain that, oh, look at the whole departmental library. Look at the whole departmental library. And I'm like, have you finished what is in here? Have you started at all before we start complaining that we don't have materials? Have researched. While I was back there, I was discussing with some people there. For the first time, I had a right to talk. And I was like, okay, so what's the content? What is it about? How much is it? That's because I want to know. It is not even about my culture, but then I want to know. So let's start from knowing. We are creatives, and just like we said, we are interested in progress. That's why we are here. And it's a very big opportunity to let us understand how to move forward from here. I work with a boss, a foreigner in Lagos, in Benin, for 3 years. And sometimes when I'm in our office, I hear her say something like, I don't understand all these Nigerians. You actually complain, right? You complain. And she laughed. Our family, when I say our family, I'm not talking about immediate family. Our grandmother, our sisters, the old generation, they are Nigerian, we are. They own businesses, they own companies in Lagos. And during the period I worked in Lagos, I was that the island is, foreigners will soon, I'm very sure that we have about 70% of foreigners right now on the island. They come in and settle down and bring their children to settle down in a country that will say that the economy is nothing to talk about. How do we move forward? I always say that I'm not complaining. We know, yes, a lot of things are getting our objects. Sometimes when we talk about the objects, I just smile. Do we know that the objects, it's even difficult for European countries to have this kind of discussion about ownership because the truth is, the object is not even enough for them now. The objects are where we are sitting down at home and waiting to come so that we can move forward. We are the objects, we are the people, we are the ones living the lives. We are the locals. I don't know how to explain this. We are the big deal. Do we understand that? And I don't know how much we get that. Growing up, we always go home every year, and I make sure that we go home every year. And when we travel, I'm always into what's going on in every cultural aspect. I want to know more about this. And I'm always very proud that in my hometown, when you talk about Ashok, for example, it's all started in my hometown. You can't talk about Ashok without talking about his name. And as a little girl, you see me, I go to, it's just like what has name, there's a particular family, that does this thing, then you go to that compound and you see them arrange the thread, the colors, I was always very, beautiful bright colors. I can stay there all day watching them weave. So this actually is one thing that I'm always proud of. It's us, it's originated from us. And recently, about 3 years ago, I was in Lagos in my big mom's house, and she was showing my mom this Ashok cake that she bought. And I saw it, I was looking at the child, and I'm like, no. Where did she get this from? And she said, China. And I was so sad. if you see the weaving, you will know that this one is not done by any hand or spreading of any thread. And my friend is an Ashoke blog, and there was a particular time we needed Ashoke in mass. I have a point there, so please bear with my story. So we're trying to find out when and how we can get this book. And she was like, you know, this period, this season, the rainy season, so the work is slow. And I'm like, what do you mean rainy season? You know? I said, do you mean they still spread this Ashoke outside at this level? How many years later and we are still spreading Ashoke outside when China is mass producing it? So are we saying that we don't have people that can sit down and take this some of our cultural gift, I don't know what to call it, the uniqueness, and make it global? I'm actually here today to emphasize on the fact that if we are studying the past and want to bring in whatever is cultural and make it our thing and represent ourselves with all this things, see, if it is not linking to the present, if it is not linking to contemporary issues, if it is not linking to global issues, if you are not spreading your craft globally, you will not be relevant. And that is why most of us think that, we're just struggling, we do this. We are just being local champions. If China is producing Ashoke, if I tell you the history of Ashoke, it started from Oduduwa. From Oduduwa, we started over how many years now? So these people that took this as their craft, their family craft, nobody has talked about mass producing this. Nobody has talked about building industry for this. I'm not talking about government. Let's forget about government. Government, right? Just like you said, it's about us. It's a family thing. It's not governmental. It's not political anything. So nobody has talked about how to actually mass produce this. That we are not saying that we have short delivery because of weather. We are not doing enough. We need to acknowledge that fact as creatives. We need to sit down. We need to think if our craft is what is if our craft is making us relevant at all. Most of the European countries are looking, now they are bringing objects. Okay, take objects, can you come over, let's share ideas, let's share knowledge. What does that tell us? The objects are not enough. They need the real thing. And we are the real thing. And we are not doing enough. In my own field, as a visual artist, we paint, we make sculptural objects, we illustrate, we write, we do all sorts. Are we telling stories? Are we telling, most importantly, are we telling contemporary stories? Are we solving contemporary issues? Sometimes when we talk about modesty, the way we dress, in our forefathers, they were not wearing clothes, so I hope they were carrying wrappers. Our mothers wore only who is microskirts. Now we want to start talking about piercing and tattoos. In my hometown, we do tribal maps. Then tribal maps, I can boldly tell you that the reason why we are not longer, or the reason why I am not having tribal maps on my face. I remember growing up, my sister always thought my father had tribal map, queen or your man. My senior sister would say, if they are giving her tribal maps, we can just become a straight. LA those who can cover their faces and all of that. And I remember telling her that the reason why we don't switch tribal maps is because we have phones. Now we can write letters. Then they put tribal maps so that they will know that you are from this family. There is reason to everything. There were reasons why our mothers drew tattoo and made marks on their body. Now we are making marks on our body. Why? For what reason? Do you understand? Let's think like grown-ups. Let's think like people that went to school. Is it acceptable? I'm just saying that we are focusing on minor things, creators. Let's sit down and think about how to be relevant enough to affect our world. Let our paintings, our canvases tell stories, cultural stories about us, but then globally recognized and globally relevant.
Let's give a very resounding applause for all our panelists. They came fully charged. Thank you. I think some hands were. No, we had some people behind. Okay. Yeah.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone. My name is Andrew Jobeko. I want to start from the point of colonialism. It has done a lot of havoc to our society because everything that happens in the society starts from our mind. And the way we think, the way we act, the way we behave is how it will be portrayed in the society. So, I believe from time to time, things are changing. We cannot compare what's happened then and now. There are a lot of differences. When, back then, before we gained independence, my grandma used to tell us that things were cheap. There was a time I even entered the cab and man was complaining that their Peugeot was sold for 6K, 6,000 naira. $6,000 can still buy a Peugeot or any kind of car or some kind of car you want to. And back then, naira was even higher than dollars. Okay, let's come from the point of creed. They use the word slave trade, not we were just forcibly taken away. No, slave trade. People greedily sold their brethren, sold their brothers to the white people because of mirror, because of greed, because of some funny stuff. Although it's out of what they don't see before, so those things seem so precious to them. Now, the British, they saw what is precious to them, our artifacts. They took them away. They took them away, they valued them. Where they will place them, in museum they place them, they get well equipped. You are clamoring that they should return there, though it is good. The Bible made us to understand that when God created the world, before he created man, he created the world, animal, water, plants, everything was created. Then God made provision for man before he created man. We are clamoring for repatriation, for return of the artifacts. Have we built a museum or a very well-equipped place where those objects will be kept? Or we are taking them to the dust? When the objects were received by those delegates, you could see that they were just touching them, touching the bed, that is the artifact. It's so annoying when I was watching the video because I didn't expect them to treat what they've been clamoring for that way. You know, although it could be out of excitement, but it pains me because I'm an artist. I know the value of that work, even though it was taken away. Those people that took it away, they valued it. They valued them more than the way we value them. If they should bring some of them here now, we still sell them. We can store them and sell them away. We know how cheap some of the works at the book is. Only when you have $1 that you can purchase some of them very expensive. But when you bring it down to naira, some 5K, 3K, and now I don't even think if they can buy 2 crates of beer. That is the value of some of the world. So the thing just started from us, because that heart of greed is in us. The economy is going down. We say is out of colonialism. Yes, it's out of colonialism, but our greed is also there. If we are not greedy, we will be hearing story of snake swallow money, gorilla swallow money. Nobody will be, those people that are supposed to be held responsible for those acts will be left. The only thing is just for them to just deflect to the other political party and their sins are forgiven. This is one of the problems we're facing. I read one article one time when I discovered that China sentenced one of their governors to death just simply because as in about $300 something million is what was missing during his administration. He was sentenced to death. But $90 billion, I'm not saying $1 billion, $90 billion, as in just cash, not even infrastructure, maybe asset, cash was missing. But what happened? Everything dies today. Some of the recovery, some of the looted money from our country to other countries, to the one to Swiss. I believe the one Abacha looted, if that money should be removed from Swiss bank, their economy will collapse. Who took it there? Is it the British colonial masters that asked Abacha to steal the money and take it? No, it is our greed. This is just coming from us. So the first thing, we should try as much as possible to first of all counter that spirit of greed, because it is a demon that is eating. Yeah, you can even give your work. Okay, one of my colleagues gave gave his work for sale in an exhibition. The work was sold for 1.5 million naira. That's the two. What we are sold for 3 million naira. But they told the guy that later they were bargaining and this and that. They said it's 250K, so they took 500K. What is that? Is that not exploitation? So the thing started from greed. The problem we are having right from time is greed. The colonial master didn't tell us to be greedy. I started from just little slave trade. Sold your brother, let it go, let it follow them. I mean, it's so funny, but it started from greed. We should try as much as possible to counter greed, even in the church today. If you know that you are the one I'm speaking to, run to the altar with a seed, you will drop it. Your children have not even eaten. It happened in Warren when one man donated his only bus and he used it to drive and make it money for his family. Donated it to the church. He got to his wife asked him that, what happened? Is the car bad? He said, no, just use it as a seed for church. The woman cried to her brothers. People came, they tied the man that like the wrong man. They took it to the pastor. They retrieved the car back. Because some things is act of brainwashing. The church has brainwashed us to the extent that this church today is becoming, how do I put it? Is becoming a business. I'm a Christian. I research and I also apply knowledge. Not everything I read in the Bible or not everything pastor preach can apply. Some things, even the Bible was even written by those who wrote the Bible. There are some things that are removed from the manuscript where they got those information from. So we should try to also watch our hearts and apply wisdom. Thank you.
Please, we've had a really time today and we'll have to round off shortly. So I'll take just 2 last questions or contributions. Let's try to make it short. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you all very much. My name is Jai Jumbo. First of all, I want to address something that happened. Something you said lady on green, pretty down. You said something when they asked you a question that is our economy the reason for people actually leaving the country? And you gave valid points. But personally, I wasn't satisfied. I feel like the youth in this generation, not just in this generation, the youth in the city are the most talented people. I was going home, because I didn't sleep at home last night. I was going home this morning, and a lady, an Uber lady, drove me. We were having conversations, and we were talking about how talented these people in this town are. You have boys that never went to any engineering school. They can actually steal cars and get started, e.g. anime. Take away the bad side. That's genius. You have people who never go to computer school. They are busting the internet. They are doing mad things that even application people that have softwares can't do. You know why that happens? Our DNA is not something spiritual that falls into it. Our DNA is not made of some spiritual element. The DNA is made of old, archaic, repetitive behavior of ancestors. So the reason why these people are genius now, but they're using it negatively, I'm talking about genius, is because the Benin people have had long relationships with foreigners. Like I was listening to Mr. Eno talk on one TEDx in Mabakenzua, and he said, he told us how Akopava was named Akopava, that it was the Portuguese that first named that place, Papava. That's just to tell you the relationship we have, the outstanding relationship we have. Now, the DNA of people in this town now is to just be great, whether we go to school or not. Because 400 years ago, our ancestors have had that thing going on. Now, the problem is, I'll still come back to the economic issue, that the economy is still the problem because the youths are great, but they don't even know they're great. Now, they don't even know what to do with that greatness, but to do evil. And I think the reason to this is because a lot of young people in this generation today have watched older people, their predecessors, putting so much effort to actually chasing a dream and seeing nothing become of it. This is not peculiar to everybody in the whole world, but peculiar to people from places where the government system is messed up. Now, when we say government, humans don't start government. Government is an order. It's a certain order that is natural. That's why you see if you mess up an anthill, what they do is they take the eggs and they save their queen. That's government. Ants even recognize government. So now who's controlling the economy? The government. So there is no way we can escape. There's no way we can be so individual. There's no way we can be so individualistic. Everything has to happen side by side. It's a natural order of things. And when one natural order is messed up, everything will be messed up regardless of how much information you have. So my point exactly is, like what my colleague Andrew was saying, talking about personal traits. I think white people, first of all, the foreigners did not, there's nobody that have total right to mess up the tribe. There's no way you be powerful that you can do that. The only way you can mess up the total generation and tribe is if you destroy language. And language is something you can never destroy. The Benin language or any other language by anybody colonized by Ethiopians will never destroy. So my point is, I think the problem, colonialism messed a lot of things up, right? But we should work on personal traits. You understand me? I think we should work on personal traits. We should work on the way we see life, the way we treat people with the way we treat people with ambition and skill. I think this generation is on us to prove to the world that with skill and abilities, you can still become. And I want the government, not just our government is trying, but the government's collective effort to see to it. And that's the only way we can actually transfer the greatness these youth in this generation are showing in a negative way by doing talent fraud and all that stuff into something very positive. And I just hope, and I pray fervently every day that in the end, the restitution will actually teach today's youth, especially in this town, Benin City, that it's possible for you to make headway and drive reformatic without actually frauding anybody. I think that's my prayer. And And there was something Nelson Mandela said one time in the conference. It was like, if Africa can only sit up, I'm not quoting him exactly, but he was like, if Nigeria can actually sit up and know who they are, then Africa has a hope. But personally, for me, if Benin people get their stuff together, the time is now. And there are a lot of people in the forefront trying to make it happen. But if we all keep in and the people in this town, South, get their stuff together, I think Nigeria is going to be a better place. And if Nigeria is going to be a better place, the world definitely, Africa.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Please, how many more persons do we have with questions? 3. Okay, let's just make it 3.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Barbara Amorigi Jackson, and I'm a filmmaker and I'm an artist. Okay? I just have a quick one. If we don't know where we are coming from, we won't know where we're going. And that's the truth. There are a lot of young people here. You guys are the future. You are great. And there's something that I need to know that I think I should bear out of my mind. I was actually watching something on TV, and the lady was saying that there was something going around at the time that if you wear trousers, you go to hell, or something like that. And I asked myself a question. So that means everybody in Russia, everybody in those very cold regions of the world, will go to hell. Because the truth is that if you travel out of the shores of a humid environment, if you go to a very cold place, if you don't wear 2 to 3 trousers, I'm telling you, you will freeze to death, you will die. So many times we are not informed. And ignorance, they say, is in fact, if you think that education is expensive, try ignorance. Ignorance is a creep, in fact, it is poverty itself. And I thank God for the organizers of this program. We really need to know our rules. I told someone to make beats for me, waist beats, and somebody said, you're a Christian, how can you make waist beats? How can you wear waist beats? And it's kind of demonic. And I was like, really? But you know that growing up, I grew up seeing a lot of children wearing waist beats. And I'm telling you that even the African culture, our culture is about waist beats. You know, and when people wear it today, they tie it to a lot of demonism. They make you feel that you are possessed. That's why you are wearing things you are wearing. You put earrings on your nose, tell you that you need to be born again and all of that. But all I have to say is that let's be informed. Buhari said something that our youth are lazy. And everybody frowned at that statement. But if you were wise, you should go back and ask yourself, why did this old man say that I am lazy? Is it really that I am lazy? But you see that as big as Nigeria is, we don't produce anything. Half the time of our lives, we are sleeping. By 7 p.m., we are forced to go to sleep. Why? Because there's no light. They say America is great. What makes America great? They don't sleep. They don't sleep. They work. They look at China. They have launched their sun. Why? Because they don't want to sleep anymore. They feel that darkness now makes them limit them. So they have launched their own sun. We are here cutting eyes and cutting people's heads. That's what we're doing. That's what our youth are doing now. We have turned to, but like we have gone back to the days of cannibalism. We now believe that by the time we cut someone's head and pluck someone's eyes, we get some money. That's how bad it is. I pray that things like this make us wake up from our slumber and be better people. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Peter Adrian Ivan. I'm the talent manager and testing. One thing I know is this. I've studied Philip Zabado, his one of his book, Lucifer Effect. He said understanding how good people become evil. He says that when good people turn evil, it's as a result of situated character transformation, just like what she was talking about. Most young people in Nigeria, we are looking for higher stuff. We all know about Maslow hierarchy of need. We are even struggling for food, shelter, and clothing. But if you ask us, our aspiration is high. So the bridge between those things are much. So most young persons are in a very, let's say, dysfunctional state. Some people don't know what they want. The priorities are not right. So sometimes when you look at this, it's still the government. One day, I was talking to a friend about this, our artifact, if for example they are returned. Okay, he said, if you want to talk about the value for all these things, he said, the market is out there. He said, not here. He said, at the end of the day, some children from secondary school just go like excursion. Do you know that as we are gathered here right now discussing this, some persons will tell you that, what are you people saying? They are wasting the time. They just want money day. After this gathering, they'll share 10,000 naira. That is what we have. That is the thinking. And such thinking that ends with the belly don't take you forward. And the reason why many of us keep on thinking like that is because of the situation that we found ourselves. The government, you are not encouraged. Let me take for instance, I have a sister, when she was a new baby, nobody knows her. She was just managed to just pass from 100 to 200 level. But when she migration, listen, when she migrated, they are celebrating her. Just little thing like this. Okay? But why? Because she is in a society that rewards diligence and excellence. So for we to stay here and triumph, the society must reward and also make local heroes our young people. Let us celebrate our young people. China, I was going through a sponsor ad on Facebook. Do you know what they were doing? They projected 2 Congolese that were rapping in China language. But when I looked at, I tried to feed those guys, and I was telling me these guys are not Congolese, they are Nigerians. They are tongues. Now, they were promoting them because they sang a song in their own language. So they are using the song now for their team, what I want called festival that is coming. But we, our government here, our leaders, do they celebrate our people, our young people, if they come up with such a big idea? No. So that must change. So it's going to be an effort by the follower and also what? By the leaders to create a very good situation for us. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Please, just one final contribution. Then, Kemi, please get ready for your musical performance.
I'm going to be asking a question, but before I ask the question, I want to talk about something that the lady Nicola talked about. She said something that colonialism does not have a positive effect on us. And I agree. But I'm going to talk on the educational aspect. You know, when these Britain people came, they were having difficulty talking with us. They were having difficulty taking possession of our protectorate and our colonies. So there was this mind, it's a mind, I think you can call it the mind game that they played on us. Because when this topic came to us in our NGO, Envoy Nation, it came as a revenue thing to me. Because the last time I heard about colonialism was from government, maybe jam lecture. People really don't have interest in this thing. The reason people flipped through these pages of colonialism again today was because of this symposium. That's the reason why many people
our own rulers, you know, they wanted to have head of every colony. So they had to give, and then the people have to be educated so they can be able to pass information to them and also be able to talk to us. They couldn't understand our language for real. So this started with hostels. They have to keep us in hostels in Catholic schools because they have to also teach our mind and teach our head. So it was a first thing. So what I'm talking about now is the educated and illiterate dichotomy. There's the word syndrome because what the British has successfully done now is me, I'm educated. Somebody else can be an illiterate, but we are both Nigerian and we are from Africa. We are not both from Edo State or any other part of Nigeria. But I'm looking down on you because you are an illiterate. So there's a word syndrome between me and you because I've been educated. So this illiteracy and education illiteracy and educated person view, the thing is different now. You understand? So I'm saying this from my own point of view, and I'm saying this from every other person's point of view. But we are still being educated. So people now take education as their side hustle. Most people want to go to school and make it side. People want to major on their business. But Britain has successfully made us have war within ourselves. It's a visible division. Because my cost of study is higher than your own, my certificate is higher than your own, square is higher than your own. Even in public now, in some seminars, you see people say you can't talk. Because they just do introduction, and do introduction people that went to schools outside the country, they went to private schools. Sometimes people we within ourselves as students, now quarrel with ourselves that the university is better than AAU is better than BIU is better than Nosona. So different things that this Britain education of English and education has done. My question now is, should we still continue with education or we should drop it? Because if you're saying that if you're saying that Britain has not brought any positive thing to us, I'm not asking because this question needs to be asked. Should we drop education?
Okay, I'm trying to get to it. Okay, that's a very good question. Now, I want us to know that there is nothing wrong that education was introduced. The fact that it was, most of these ideas were forced was what made it immoral. And the fact that the education that was introduced is to tell us that our own culture, our own way of life is inferior. That is what made it wrong. Normally, I want to go into business with a Benin person that doesn't know how to speak English and doesn't know how to speak my language. What will I do? It's either I learn your language or I make you learn mine. Whoever is ready to do that. But they have to get a way to be relevant. A few days ago, at my backyard, I saw a child at the back of the house. There is this local welding store, and I saw a child of say 7. Yes, it was welding. It wasn't just welding. It was filing. You know that big machine. The sculptors here who can relate. Very huge machine with a spinning blade. A child of 7. He crossed his leg over the metal like this and was filing away. And I called my child and said, come on, look at this child. Now that day, that child probably came back from school and went for the skill, but I've been seeing them there for even on weekdays, so I'm sure that they were not going to school. Now that child that may be very skillful and very strong in his craft
may not be relevant to a child that can't even handle that machine, or can speak English, or can tell you in theory how the machine works. This is where you get to be smart. No matter how skillful or how cultural or how intelligent you are, you have to be relevant. And how are we relevant? By studying, by understanding the people you are dealing with. It's as simple as that. You can't say that because this idea was introduced to us, we should leave it. My mom would say, you see that person, she's like this. She'll give you a gift with the right hand and put a king in the left hand. That's how simplified I can define colonialism. It's not a gift, it's not interesting or good for you. But then, at the end of the day, it takes something from you. So we are now talking about not allowing them to take something from us. Let's explore the gift in our own advantage, right? I'm trying to simplify this as much as I can. I hope you get that. Just like we're talking about faith, for example, Christianity. If they are not brought Christianity, I am telling you, at this age, they will be Christians. Christianity would have still found its way. But now it was forced on us, and we now, it took something from us. Now it took the idea of our culture, just like she was talking about our cultural decay, because they were forcing it on us. They tell you, no, you see this your bit, it's not it. You see this your sculpture, I'm a Christian, I'm a very good Christian, but then when you enter my apartment, it's almost like a shrine. And I don't have to explain myself to everybody. I am a very good Christian, my Christianity. But then, because of the knowledge that I have, because I can make my research myself, because I have my Bible for myself, I don't listen to any man preach religion to me instead of faith, because I'm a cultural person that knows what every object or every idea signifies. I live in that world comfortably. So if we do not have ideas on these things, we will complicate issues for ourselves. The last time we had this forum, we talked about education, we talked about our national curriculum, how they are not promoting cultural content enough. And we said, if Mr. Peter made a very good point about our society and government, yes, we can't just put that aside. It starts from them, but then this is not the audience for them, right? When we have an audience for them, we will address them. But this is an audience for us. So we'll do our part, right? We do our part. When we have the audience for the leaders, we direct this to them. We let them know their own damage. But this is an audience for us. How can we move forward from here? That's the question. So education is a tool that was used to colonize us. Religion is one. Visual arts is one. There are a lot of tools like that was used against us. Now we are saying that let's use these same tools for restitution.
Thank you, ma'am.
Let me start by saying thank you, panelists, to all our wonderful audience who have been here, listening and contributing in a very meaningful way to this ongoing discussion. So we've been at it for quite a few hours now. I just want to ask all of you, are you comfortable? Should we continue? Should we? Are you guys okay? Do you want some questions, some water? Yeah? You can bring them. Okay, so I'll leave you to continue. Just want to make sure that you are all comfortable. So what's the pepper?
Good afternoon, everybody. 2020. My name was King. But 2021, I stopped answering my English name because I was reborn in 2021. I will explain how. I would like to appreciate the organizers of this program. It's been very interesting. I didn't intend to stay this long, but to pick up a document from Chief Enoti, but while listening, I just had no option but to stay because I felt alive. So 2021, I had a dream, and in that dream, I saw a man dressed like a chief, and he told me, "You are now." I'm 20.
I'm 20-something. Let me talk about that. I'm 20-something. I won't tell you my age. So he said, "You are now," told me my age. And he said, "Some years back, your forefathers founded a society. Some years back, your forefathers founded a society. And at this age, you are supposed to join that society." That's what he told me. So when I woke up in the morning,
I called my father. I said,
"Dad, is this true? Is there a common society that my family belongs to?" Because he never told me. Then he said yes, that my forefathers actually founded a certain society. I won't tell you the name. And the essence of, the founding of that society was to create unison amongst the Benin's. That's what he told me. But he told me that he would not advise me to have anything to do with them. But on my own, I still went to find them. But I realized that rather than unite the Benin's, they oppress themselves. So I stayed away from the society. But apart from that, I started doing my own research. I started Googling. I was not really interested. I know my dad told me that we are a prince, but never really told me how, whatever. So I started asking questions. I went to see my uncles. And then I realized that as a human being, as an African, I'm even closer to God. I'm not saying the white people are not close to God, but I'm closer to God than any other person. Why? Because the person who founded the Benin race, his name is Paidu. He told the Benin, he said, "I am a son of the son of the son of God." That's why he founded the Benin race. I saw that online. And my uncle confirmed it. So when the white people came and brought religion, they were talking about God. But the other is telling you that this God you are telling me about, I already know him. So religion didn't bring God to us. We already knew God before. I just want to introduce myself that way. So from the discussion we've had, I penned some things down. So I would like to talk on them. So the first thing is the artifacts. Now, I saw my mother happy that artifacts has come. I was happy myself. But I'm from Igun, just across the street here. And we are mostly broadcasters. I know my elder brother is good in art. When he was young, we used to mold. But over the years, it went out, but there was nowhere to go with that things. So, if we are happy that our artifacts have come from this white people, and we are celebrating it, between the time when these artifacts were taken,
thank you.
I know the artifacts represent our history, yes, that's true. But between the time when these artifacts were taken and now, what has our leaders done to groom our talents, to create more beautiful art, to make it a sense of, a source of income for us? What our leaders done? They've done very little. Edo State was an empire, but we have turned into just 18 local governments. And what are our leaders doing about it? I really don't know. Now, poverty of the mind. And that's one thing that is affecting Africa. It's not that we are poor. We have everything that we need. God has blessed us. And I was watching CNN in 2016. The CNN reporter said, Africa. She didn't say Africa is, she didn't say Africa was. She said Africa is the richest continent in the world. And I was wondering why. They are seeing what we have. Now, aside the things we have other
resources that we have.
But you see our leaders.
And many Africans, they transfer it. They have the poverty of the mind. No matter what you give them, they can never be satisfied. Rather than invest in Africa, invest in Nigeria, they'll take their investments outside the country to Dubai. They keep robbing us and taking all our things there. Now, the next thing I have to say is royalty. My dad told me I was a prince, but he never really took me to associate much with my relatives. Rather, he told me that everybody is royalty. That's what he told me. He said, what makes you royalty? There are two components of royalty. Aside being by birth, he told me that there are some princes that have nothing. They are drug addicts. They are not responsible. They are going to royalty. But he says, what makes you a prince? Two components. First, honor. Second, responsibility. And this honor is one thing that we lack as a people. And it's one thing that I've upheld and that it has distinguished me through life. If we can instill honor, there's no relation between Edo and Japan. I'm sure some of you are aware of that. The Japanese people, because of one African warrior that went there, called Yasuke. Yasuke transformed Japan. He taught them our ways. And if you trace Yasuke very well, he has been like, he says that from Yin style or Edo state Benin. Just imagine, somebody moved from Africa and transformed the whole continent. Malaysia came and picked palm fruits from night from here. And it is the bane of their economy. China went to Ghana, picked cocoa. Ghana was one of the highest exporters of cocoa. Now, China, they are the highest exporters of cocoa. I'm very fast, I'm running through, I'm going to land very soon. Now, talk. In Africa, I've observed that we talk a lot. We talk a lot. We will go seminars, we will talk and talk and talk. But after talking, no structure. We have talents, we have minds, we have everything that it takes.
But we need structure.
We need structure. We need, for example, now we're all gathered here. I don't know an attendance at the past school. As an attendant at the past school, wonderful. We can all be put in a group, WhatsApp group, Telegram, keep sharing information, keep keeping in touch. But beyond that, what do we want to achieve? Aside saying that, okay, we want to start selling our idea, okay, how do we intend to sell it? They are used as jobless, they don't have any work, but they have talent, and they are ready to work. They can be put into the structures. Now, what's the other thing I have to say? Unity. Unity. In the Bible, it was recorded that at the Tower of Babel, humans were united, and they were determined to reach God. Because of that unity, they were actually building a tower. And God saw it and said, if these people remain united like this, anything they decide to do, whether good or bad, they cannot be stopped. So language was put between us. You see all this talking? The colonialism, the Africa, Europe, everything is language. If we all spoke one language around the world, we won't have this discussion today. We will live as brothers and sisters. But unfortunately, we are all divided. Meanwhile, we are from the same source. We are all humans. We are all one. In essence, we can start here and that young man said, my brother, I'm a young man too. He said, Benin's, Edos, Nigerians, even if it's a small group, we can come together like they are already structuring. Start putting these ideas together and then we'll share it out. Now, another thing I would like to say is, my dad told me something. He said, the most powerful thing in the world, is a pen and a paper. I said, he said ink and paper. I was wondering, I said, how can ink and paper be the most powerful thing in the world? So he laughed. He said, the money you are spending, what is money made of? Ink and paper. Even when you go to type on your phone, what's the format? It's ink and paper. So I held his word. And I'm telling you the truth. My life has been transformed by ink and paper. I started writing proposals. I've met politicians. I've written proposals to them. I'm just sitting in my room. I just feel like this idea will help this politician in his campaign. That's what I just think of. I see people discussing, just complain. They just keep complaining. They just complain and complain. They complain over and over and over again. But I made a group of complainers, my friends. We created a WhatsApp group. So an election was happening, it has already happened. So I told them, what do you think we can, what benefit, how do you think we use to this politician in this their campaign that can help Edo State? So start coming up with ideas. I'm not very good in writing, but I have ideas. So I put these things down, put them right. And because of that document, I met a lot of people. A lot of people. That one of the governorship aspirants from the past election actually took some of the ideas, put it into his document. So that's when I realized that rather than complain, you can document some of these things. When you see problems, you can document these ideas. And try to give it to people who you know can help. Try to visit structures. Our leaders, a lot of them don't have ideas, that's the truth. But they have structure. They have structure to get to power. They need ideas from us. That's why Barry said we are lazy. It's not that we are lazy because we cannot carry blocks and do hard job. We are lazy because we are complaining. Our parents have put the spirit of complaining into us. And our parents are scared. Most of our parents, well, I came from a family of warriors, so nobody fears anything. But a lot of people, their parents are scared. They don't want them to, take risks. But I'm telling you the truth. Our leaders have failed us. And our leaders have failed us because there was a generation that was cowardly. I'm telling you. There was a generation that was cowardly. And they were made cowardly because they were broken. You've heard of Sarajevo, you've heard of how Abacha killed some politicians. So this is broken. But right now, I'm ready to die for Nigeria. I'm ready to die for any cause. I don't think that I'm a dead man already. The moment I gave my life to Christ, even if the colonialists have brought Christian religion, but the moment I gave my life to Christ, I just realized that the best thing you can ever have is one, the purpose, and two, knowing God. Do you understand what I'm saying now? So, me, I'm ready to go any length to achieve what I want. So now that they've brought this idea, I'm ready to work with it, but there has to be a structure. Well, I've been talking and talking. What's the structure? What do we need to do? What do you want us to do for you? We will do it for you. All right, stop me there. I've been talking too much. Lastly, I would say, yes. Lastly, I would say, the colonialists, I don't hate them, and I have nothing against them, because even the Benins were colonialists. Yes, we were colonialists. In fact, there's a strong part of my history that states that when there was civil war in Benin, Benin was a place of civil war. Because there needed to be order, there was no order. Everybody was proud, everybody was stubborn. So we're not making development. There was an order that saw us conquering more empires, expanding our coast, and educating people. We had our own knowledge. So we had to conquer ourselves, put ourselves under leadership. And because we're united, we conquer more. Why do I say I don't think colonialism? It was the old way. It was the old way. War was the old way. You fight before you conquer them, you pass your traits on to them. Fine, they did us wrong. They turned our people to slave. But I think that there is a supernatural reason why it has happened. You see, the world is losing meaning. The world is losing morals. If you go to the Western world, I see people talking about LGBT. Right? Everybody has a right to their opinion. But even the Bible said that there was a time when that was moved on with Solomon and Gomorrah. And what happened? It said it destroyed. Because we were made for more. This is not, you're not an animal, you're not a goat. Animals come to just procreate. We are giving souls because we have more meaning. This is not religion now. So Africa has always had morals. Our parents have always taught us right things. Our customs were very straightforward. So this is time for us now. I won't say colonize, that's not the word. We must not lose our moral because the world is depending on it. I watched a video when Australia, they were learning Igbo, learning Yoruba. They see meaning in us and we must not lose that meaning. This is time for us to find ourselves. I said I found myself trying to do. I hardly hear English words. I don't eat English words. When I travel, I don't buy anything from any shop. I come back here to sew it. I wear my bead. I found myself, I won't call myself an African because the Western were the ones that gave us that name. Who named us African? Because we are black, Afro. But I'm a core human. So I've accepted who I am. And I'm confident anywhere I go, I'm never shy. So as a people, I'm sorry for talking too much. I'm sorry for talking too much. So bottom line, What is the way forward? I would like to come next time. I would like to anytime you have a shower, give everything. I'm a pharmacist. I'm a musician. Yes, only me. I have ideas. I see movies. I write movies. Only me. Why? Because of my family image, my gene. They say we are very creative people. So what is the way forward? That's what I want to do. Don't keep coming here to just sit and talk. It's very nice. I love it. What is the way forward? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please, I would like us to give a standing and a clapping ovation to please let's be on our feet. To usher our panelists back to their please join us together. They came so much. Dedicating this round of applause to Mr. Enote Ogbego, the convener of this. Every single intern in the Elo Global Arts Center, thank you. And please a round of applause for yourself. You've been an amazing audience. Thank you so much. Kenny, we have a music relief in the house, so you can use this opportunity to interact. We've called it a day already. Our sincere gratitude goes to you all for staying from the beginning to the very end. Thank you so much. And I pray that we all get back to respective destinations safely. Thank you.